Well, welcome back everyone to Kitchen Table TCG. Today we are going to talk, I'm really honored, it's going to be really fun. We're going to talk, we're going to do an interview with Kelvin Law, who is the #1 ranked player globally right now. You heard me right. #1 ranked player globally from Hong Kong, right in front of Kuganya Gaming. Shout out to Kuganya Gaming. Great dude. And Jack Tang is number 3 from Hong Kong. So I reached out to Kelvin after he, let's go to my other setup here, after he won my skirmish event this past week. So Kelvin won the skirmish event this past weekend. It was a great game. The matchup, if you want to watch it, is on the channel. The final round is on the channel. And man, it went down to the wire. Kelvin is currently running a Kano deck. And it went down to the wire to the last turn. He was able to pull off the win in a really cool way. It was really awesome as somebody who doesn't really understand how Kano works to see him pilot the deck and be able to see it. So make sure you go check that out. So I reached out to Kelvin and asked him, hey man, would you be willing to do a little bit of an interview? Let me show you his deck list first in case you're curious of that. I asked him if he would do a little interview. So we have a little interview. It is just, he answered some questions, language barriers and stuff. He was more comfortable answering some questions via email. So we'll read those things. So this is his Kano deck list. 40 card blitz deck. Pretty typical, I think, to most of the Kano decks that we have seen in the past. I like to see some Monarch cards in here, Nourishing Emptiness in there, and I think that's the only Monarch card if I remember right. He does run a Eye of Ophidia that I think a lot of people love in Kano. Again, I have not built a Kano deck, but I just wanted to share with you his deck: 2 Aether Flares, 2 Aether Spindles, a Blazing Aether, 2 Forked Lightnings, 2 Nourishing Emptinesses, Scalding Rain, 2 Snapbacks, Stir the Aether Winds, Voltaic Bolt 2, Zap 1, Chain Lightning 1, 2 Lessons in Lavas, 1 Snapback, 2 Sonic Booms, 2 Aether Flares, 1 Aether Spindle, 2 Energy Potions, the Eye of Ophidia, Gaze the Ages, 2 of them, Reverberate, Scalding Rain, you can't see the bottom of it, but Snapback, Voltaic Bolt, and Zap. So a lot of 1-cost cards, be able to play a lot of things. No, just the 2 attack actions. I mean, this is a typical Kano deck. But pretty awesome to see. So let's get into this interview with him. Let's show you guys the questions that he answered for us. I had my competitive team come up with some questions too, and Team Kitchen Fable. So it's pretty cool to see that. So here we go. This is an interview with the #1 ranked player in the world right now via XP. So here we go. Kelvin, how did you discover Flesh and Blood? What attracted you to learn how to play the game? And Kelvin says that I discovered Fab in early April. As I was a player, collector, investor in Pokemon, I found Fab card price is rock solid, so I tried to learn how to play and collect some promos. As I was a Pokemon TCG player, and I'm honored I was invited to join the coming Pokemon World Championships in 2022. Wow, that's awesome. But he's also frustrated by Pokemon because it needs less strategy. Fab is just the opposite, and that's why he jumped into Fab. So that's awesome. So, dude, he is a Pokemon World Champion contender. That's super cool. Yeah, that's awesome. What is your TCG background? Do you have a background playing competitive TCGs? Obviously, he has already answered that. I have played Pokemon since 2019. I was an active player and traveled to many countries to join some tournaments and earn some points. I was glad to earn the World Champion, one of the biggest events in Pokemon. Besides that, he's collected Pokemon, graded and raw for investment. So this is pretty cool. This is what I love. People in the community who both play at a high competitive level, but also invest and collect. I love that. It's the whole package. I really believe if you're in the TCG, the whole package is the best way to go. Besides that, I've collected Pokemon raw and graded for investment at some decent profit. I would love to play and invest at the same time, and he sees the same opportunity in Flesh and Blood. If I was asking clarifying questions, I would say, do you see a better opportunity? Because I do personally. I would be curious to see if he sees a better opportunity in Flesh and Blood. What has been the most enjoyable aspect of being a part of the Flesh and Blood community? He says the players from local and other countries are so nice to share in their experiences and strategies. He shouts out some people: Jack Tang, Kuganye, Yeah, dude. Kugani. I love Kugani. Rich Cook, Kitchen Table TCG, Thursday Night Armory player. I love it. Rasta, and etc. I didn't expect to make so many new friends from Fab community as just started to play Fab since April. I think this is a really great testament to what our community is, that you can be in the community since April and feel this kind of connection. Actually, I had somebody reach out to me that said, hey man, like playing in these armory events and playing in the skirmish event online has helped me really work through some of my social anxieties, and that they're excited to get back to local play because like they feel like they've been able to practice interacting with people. I just love that. Like I love that our community is so healthy. All right, so how are you playing online? Do you enjoy online experience or do you prefer to play in person? He says, seriously, I play online every day during a 2-week long holiday. I think he meant to say I played online every day during a 2-week long holiday. I love to play online. There are excellent platforms like KitchenTableTCG. I did not ask him to say that. They run the online tournament smoothly and effectively. I'm sure a lot of other people in the community do that as well. And I do think that online tournament is a good platform for players from all over the world to compete, to learn, and improve. I could not agree more. I think he gets into this a little more, but I think moving forward as organized play and in-person play starts, I think that's great, and I think it's necessary. I think we all need to lean into that 100%, but I really think we don't need to lose the online play. I know I'm very biased, but because I think it's really cool to be able to see the metas change from area to area and region to region. I think what he's saying here is that there's ability to learn from other people and how we, our different kind of cultures and ideas allow us to interact in this game in a different way and to learn and to change up styles of play. So I think that's really cool. All right, on average, how many hours a week are you playing Flesh and Blood? Is it all competitive, or do you have a friend group that you play with? I spend a few hours every day to play Flesh and Blood for playing some games, discussing with a friend, and then he says he's trying a new format like Classic Constructed. He did have a friend group to play with. So I love this too. This is I think typical for everyone other than New Zealand and Australia. Like we all see Classic Constructed as the new format because we've only really played Blitz, and so that's really cool that he plays every day. He has some friends that play new formats, test it out. Being based in Hong Kong, is it more or less difficult to have access to cards? I can't complain as I live in Hong Kong. I could speak Cantonese, Mandarin, and English. It's more easy for me to play online tournament held by different card stores and communicate with players all around the world. Okay, cool. So doesn't seem like it's that difficult for him to get access to cards. And a lot of the, I've noticed a lot of the high-end cards, like a lot of cards do come from Asia. So they must have some supply chains there. Congrats on becoming #1 ranked player in the world. Was this your main goal? What are some other goals for you in Flesh and Blood? He says, indeed, since I joined the community, being 90 days #1 is my short-term goal. So dude, congratulations. I love that he set a short-term goal and he reached it. That is so cool to me. I love that. I'm just so excited for people when they set goals and then are able to accomplish them. That makes me so happy. Getting a national championship and joining Pro Tour are also in my goals in the near future. However, instead of earning prizes, ranking #1, I hope there'll be more and more people playing. Oh, what a great answer. What a great answer. I love that. He's yeah, I love earning prizes and I love ranking #1, but I just want more people to play the game. Man, that's a great answer. That is a great response. National, I think he talks about it a little bit more. We'll get into the national championship. How do you prepare for competitive events? Any routines? I just keep playing every day and do some analysis by some maths and statistics to make my decision in game perfect. This is where I struggle. If you guys watched me learn how to play MetaZoo, math is not my strength. So this is where I was okay, yeah, I can't be a competitive Flesh and Blood player, but I can talk to him. So he plays every day, consistency, right? And then analysis, evaluating your play and whatever. And then math and statistics. I do think there is a side of if you're going to play in the high level, you have to practice some of that critical thinking and math skills in order to really kick up, especially if you're playing with a Kana deck, right? How do you see the meta changing from area to area? Okay, under my observation, Flesh and Blood is such a great game because it's quite balanced. In my point of view, you would see the meta is Kano in Hong Kong, Chain in Singapore, Ira in US and Canada, The mentioned heroes have excellent consistency in Blitz, but I think there are more people playing Classic Constructed. Some above mentioned here, like Kano, would be suffering from a prolonged game, and I think that's completely accurate. So interesting that he sees, and this is a guy that plays, he plays in all the online tournaments, tons of things. He does the math, he does the, the analysis. The meta is Kano in Hong Kong, Chain in Singapore, and Ira in US and Canada. Interesting. Yeah, cool. It will be interesting. I do think we are on the verge of moving like heavily into Classic Constructed. I would say a lot of people have already like decided that they are changing over. Like we're doing a Classic Constructed league and team in KitchenTableTCG Discord server, and then I think with the calling announcement and all that stuff, I do think that's going to be a huge idea there. Which are you most competitive with? Is this your favorite hero, or do you have another that you enjoy playing more? I love Kano as it needs calculation, and you have to remember every card in your glove. I love like his critical thinking is what makes him love the game. That's awesome. You need to remember every card in your graveyard. I love Ira because it's my first hero to learn and brought me an outstanding win rate. Okay. I'm not a fan of Ira, so anybody who plays my Thursday night armory events knows that I like to poke fun at the Ira players. What format do you enjoy playing the most? What do you what are you strongest in? So far, Blitz, but I'm also practicing Classic Constructed. We've kind of talked about that. With the announcement of the Calling US season, does this excite you for future events that may be coming to your area? Yes, I can't wait to see the Calling event that could be held in Hong Kong. I hope that COVID is gone so that I could fly to visit you and play in the Calling US. Man, like I love that. Like somebody who lives in Hong Kong is like, no, like I hope that I'm able to get on a plane, fly all the way over here, meet the people that I've been playing with online, and play in a high, like I love that. Like that is like, to me, like such a strong like proponent of Flesh and Blood being such a healthy game. And this is why like I think online play is so important. Like I think it's so important to keep and continue to do it. I really hope I hope LSS continues to lean into some of that as they also lean into the organized play. Anyway, dude, Kelvin, thank you so much for answering some questions. I hope you're a viewer of the channel. If you guys have other questions for Kelvin, feel free to leave them in the comments and maybe he'll respond to them. I don't know for sure. But man, Kelvin, congratulations on your skirmish win. I assume you won multiple of them, but congratulations on your skirmish win in my skirmish this past week. And man, thank you so much for answering questions. The rest of you guys, I hope you can learn something from Kelvin, and like maybe like even like just like the idea of like practicing every day and consistency, or like practicing your critical thinking skills or evaluation. Like I hope that helps you become a better player as you see one of the best players and one of the highest ranked players in the world answer some of those questions. So all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, Kelvin, and remember to be kind to the people around you.